This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight from our nation's capital, a 4-game series kicks off and a 7-game road trip. From Nationals Park, it's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Washington Nationals. Erica Weston is here. That's Brad Thompson. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And welcome to St. Louis Cardinals baseball. The Cardinals wrapping up a 10-game homestand. They won all 3 of those series. Meanwhile, Washington here at home, not playing great baseball. They have dropped 3 straight series. And the Cardinals have the future Hall of Famer behind the plate in the lineup again tonight, and that's Yadier Molina.
Well, Yadi has been getting it done, especially here recently. Whatever the situation, he's putting together good ABs. He's putting the ball in play. And look at these numbers. Among all MLB catchers, tied for first in hits, second in extra base hits, 18 driven in. And he is tough to strike out as usual. Yadier Molina is on a tear right now.
One of the great stops in the National League. Washington, D.C. You take in the sights, then you take in the ball game. First pitch, starting lineups, comes your way next. And the Washington Nationals, game 1 of 4. 58 degrees, cloudy. Erica Weston with us, Brad Thompson, Dan McLaughlin here in the booth. Well, Mike Schilt and the Cardinals enjoy a 2.5-game lead thus far in the Central Division, playing very good baseball at home. And this should be a tough road trip. 4 with Washington, 3 at Wrigley. Carpenter, Goldschmidt, and DeYoung. Ozuna, Martinez, Molina, Jerko at second base, Bader and Waka, 8 and 9 in the Cardinals batting order. And a tough lefty going in year 1 of a monster deal that he signed, Patrick Corbin for the Nets.
Well, things haven't gone exactly as planned for the Nationals so far this season, but when you have a rotation like this, you're in good shape. You see the Hyundai pitch arsenal, fastball, slider, curveball and change. He'll throw them in there every once in a while, but you're seeing one of those top 2 pitches most of the time. And by the way, they're both very, very good.
A shift on the right side for Matt Carpenter. The first pitch is strike, and we're underway. Carpenter did not play in the ball game yesterday, hitting .219, 3 home runs, and he's driven in 5. So as the Cardinals offense has got rolling, quietly, Carpenter has not really been a part of it.
Yeah, well, we saw this last year. It took a while to get going for him. Paul Goldschmidt was the same way in Arizona. The thing that I keep leaning on with Matt Carpenter is the fact that we've seen it. We've already seen him go through his struggles and figure it out, so you know it's a matter of time.
Patrick Corbin has pitched at least 6 innings and given up 3 or fewer runs in each of his first 5 starts in this uniform. Gave up 3 runs over 6 innings at Coors Field last week and picked up his 2nd consecutive win. That's out of play. Sparse crowd here tonight in Washington. We'd like to think it's late arriving.
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
I heard that the trains are running a little bit slow today. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Just a slight delay.
Yeah, they're still trickling in.
It's a big ballpark. 336 down the left field line, 335 in right, 402 to center. Right down the middle. May have been a little high, but that'll go Corbin's way. No surprise, he's going to rack up some strikeouts.
He is for sure. He does pound the zone. This one looks like it catches the top of it. I think that Carpenter, maybe his biggest thing is what appeared to be a little bit of a delayed call by Quinn Walcott back there behind the plate.
There's Paul Goldschmidt. You could see the catcher, Jan Gomes, also set up away and
you don't generally
reach back over. Yeah. Here's Goldschmidt. Paul on the year hitting .274, 9 home runs, and he's driven in 19. A couple of former teammates here from Arizona squaring off. And Erica will have more on that coming up next inning. Goldschmidt, DeYoung, and Ozuna, 2, 3, and 4. It's been a monster here for the Cardinals as that's lifted foul down the right field line.
Well, that was the thing when you looked at it on paper, you say, man, this has got to be great. But paper is awesome. But then when you see it actually happen, come to fruition, you knew the monster that Ozuna could be in the 4-hole. But we didn't get a chance to see that last year either. Now you got a couple of guys that can cause some damage. And oh, by the way, in the middle of it, as you mentioned, Paul DeJong holding down that 3-hole.
Put it in perspective, 2, 3, and 4 last year combined. The OPS was 750, 20th in Major League Baseball. This year, a 943 OPS, best in the game. The check swing did not go. A lot of injuries right now for the Washington Nationals. Ryan Zimmerman, plantar fasciitis, went on the DL yesterday. Anthony Rendon dealing with a sore left elbow as Goldschmidt hits it in the air. And to shallow right, backing up, that's Brian Dozier, signed as a free agent and makes the catch. There's 2 away. The Nationals defensively around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Soto, Robles, Eaton, Kendrick, Keyboom, Dozier, Adams, and Gomes. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Trey Turner, their everyday shortstop for Davey Martinez. He's a broken finger. He was hit by a pitch squaring to bunt. Trevor Rosenthal is out, the former Cardinal. A viral infection. And maybe he just needed a mental break too.
Well, I think that it probably came at a good time for Trevor. I mean, everybody listening to this, watching this, has seen a lot of Trevor Rosenthal, knows how great he can be when he's on top of his game, but it just hasn't been his year so far. Hopefully for him, a little reset, get healthy, and get back out there.
3-0 on Paul DeJong. Talking with John Mozeliak today. Said you can make a case that Paul has been our best all-around player. Putting up numbers, very good defensively. 3-0 pitch. And he draws a 2-out walk, and that's something Corbin doesn't do very often. Very good strikeout to walk ratio. So last year, Brad, 200 plus strikeouts, and 195 of those came with the slider. Why is this slider so good?
Well, I think a couple of things. First of all, he sets it up really well with his fastball. He's able to locate that, and then the slider comes out of the same exact arm slot as the fastball does, and then it just darts off the table, and it's effective to both lefties and righties. He hides it well, spins it well, and you get a lot of swings just like that one right there.
It's been happening this year as well, and talking with those that cover the Nationals, they say that it just seems like hitters do not pick up the slider. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Marcell Ozuna. That's down and in. Ozuna has now hit 8 of his 10 home runs since the 10th of April. Driven in 21 in that span. That's a 51 at bat stretch. And he has been red hot. The 1-1. Back to Corbin. And he'll flip it to Adams. Cardinals strand a runner. We're in our nation's capital. And it's Michael Wacha back off the injured list and back on the mound tonight. The Cardinal rotation. They're missing his last turn. It was left knee tendonitis. So that is the front leg, the plant leg, if you will, for a pitcher.
I think that this is something, had it been later in the year, if it were September or October, maybe you take a little time as you see the Hyundai pitch arsenal. Fastball, cutter, changeup. We know how good that thing has been, and the curveball for Michael Wacha. But it being early in the season, you take care of it. You knock it out. You get that inflammation out of there so you don't have to worry about getting over that front leg.
And a strike to Adam Eaton from Michael Wacha. Eaton hitting .295, a home run, and is driven in 6. He's in right field and no longer Bryce Harper when you come to Washington.
A little bit different look, isn't it? By the way, that pitch right there from Michael Wacha, to me, that's going to be one of his keys in this ball game, is that curveball. But, you know, no Bryce Harper, still a ton of talent around the field for the Nationals. A lot of young talent. There's a reason they feel so good about the future around here. But they've also got some great veterans. Eaton, one of those guys, plays the game as hard as anybody. He's dealt with some injuries over the last couple of years. His goal this year, he said he wants to play 155 games. I mean, that's what he wants to be.
Inside corner, and he struck him out. And again, it looks to be a high strike zone. We saw the strike on Carpenter and that one on Eaton. And there's one away here in the bottom of the first. The lineup: Eaton, Robles, and Soto. Kendrick, Adams, Keyboom, Dozier, Gomes, and the pitcher Patrick Corbin. First time in Major League history a team had 3 players 21 years old and younger to homer in the same game, and that happened yesterday. Hit into right, Martinez giving chase and sliding and can't come up with it. Good hustle there by Jose Martinez. How about that though? Soto, Robles, Keyboom all went deep as Jose Martinez just about a step shy to put that in his back pocket.
Yeah, it was a good effort right there by Martinez. Referencing those 3 young players just goes back to the fact that they feel good about what they have. Certainly they made a run, tried to keep Bryce Harper around. The contract wasn't like the one that they got, you know, he got from the Phillies. But they feel good about the young core. Robles, a big part of that.
That trio went 6 for 15. 3 home runs, drove in 5, a walk, 4 runs scored, and a steal in yesterday's walk-off win for the Nationals.
Carter Keyboom likely wouldn't be up, you know, unless the injury to Trey Turner hadn't happened. Now, they didn't call him up initially. Said that Keyboom needed a little bit more seasoning in AAA, but he played well and he's done a very good job so far.
And the 1-2 pitch. I'd like to see Michael pitching in. He did that in the start that we did against Milwaukee, the day game, and he pitched for an effect inside on Christian Yelich.
Yeah, it made a huge difference. And being able to execute in for strikes and in off the plate is big. And a guy like Robles, he'll extend his strike zone. He'll expand. He's still a young hitter. He goes up there hacking. If you can prove inside, you can get him out of the way.
Here's a 3-2 pitch. And it's tapped foul by Robles, who comes in as their #1 overall prospect this year. And the last thing they need is another injury. And Robles was listed #1 last year. And then bursting onto the scene was the man on deck, Juan Soto. And that hurts right there. Good sinker. And the 3-2 again. Tapped foul. Robles has a world of talent. They think he's going to grow into his body, get a little bit stronger and bigger, but he can flat out run. He could throw. He covers ground. Saw him a lot last 2 years in spring. And tap foul again, so making Wacha work here. Second batter of the game.
I think like any other young player too, you have to take the good with the bad. There's going to be learning at the big league level. There will be mistakes that he ends up making. There will be a lot of strikeouts. We've seen that already for him.
In the air again. Foul territory, and Goldschmidt with the catch. And a look at the Redbird defense tonight around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Ozuna, Bader, and Martinez. Trio in the outfield. Carpenter, DeYoung, Jerko, and Goldschmidt along the infield. Molina behind the plate. There's a 9-pitch at bat there by Robles, and now Juan Soto. Cardinals have become such a fun team to watch, especially when they're at home. One game below 500 on the road. That's a fair ball, and that was the curveball. Effective pitch and a 1-2-3 for Michael Wacha. If you can't catch a game on television, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, stream the Cardinals, presented by T-Mobile. It's a look at the Lincoln Memorial here at Washington, D.C., and so many great things to take in. Jose Martinez looks at a ball, and we're underway here in inning number 2. Martinez now becoming a fixture in the starting lineup, and why not? Injuries to O'Neill and Bader gave him a chance. And we all know he can hit. Before becoming a regular, first 16 games, he was 8 for 30, a lot of that off the bench. And then the last 11, he's been an outfielder, 16 for 40. That's a .400 average in 5 multi-hit games. So in this ball game, because of the lefty Corbin, and he's tough on lefties and righties, Cardinals are sitting Wong and Fowler. The lesser side would be from the right side.
Yep.
So at some point, I'm sure we'll see him. And a strike to Martinez, 3-1.
And when it comes to Jose Martinez, I am impressed every time when I see him just step right into a role. When he's needed, he's ready. And at this point, as you mentioned, I mean, you almost Sharpie in his name day in and day out because he keeps getting it done.
Like that. Out to deep right. And Eaton, though, with the catch on the edge of the track. And that's the first out here in the top of the second. Nice play by Adam Eaton, right-handed batter. That ball's going to slice, and he had a good jump. When he was with the White Sox, he primarily was in center, but can play all 3 outfield spots. And here's Yadier Molina riding a 15-game hitting streak. Yadi has driven in 18 during the streak of 15 games.
Yadi not messing around up there either. I mean, generally he sees something, especially when you got runners in scoring position. He sees something up in the zone, something that he could take a good swing at. Man, he's hacking.
And nothing in 2. His career high is 16, so he can match that with a base hit tonight. Outfield is straight away. Spoiled again by Yadi.
He's so good at that.
Yeah.
Just the nasty pitch. I mean, that's a good heater on the black away. It just fouls it off. And he'll likely do it again if you give him another one. We know that the strikeout pitch for Corbin is, in fact, that slider. And here's one here.
Inside, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, the ability to put the ball in play, and right now the Cardinals, not just Yadi, but everybody in this lineup, the strikeouts are way down, and good things happen.
I'll tell you what's going to be important also in a game like this, Dan, with the struggles that the bullpen has been having for the Nationals. And they're the worst bullpen as far as ERA goes, and it's by a wide margin in the National League, second worst in all of baseball right now. As you see Jeff Albert there, who's done a great job with the approach, is doing what Yadi's doing, making them work, fouling off tough pitches.
Get into the bullpen.
Get into that bullpen, because it's a short list down there for David Martinez of who he can trust currently.
Well, the folks in this area that have watched the Nationals and the Baltimore Orioles have seen some bad bullpen pitching. The Nats, National League worst bullpen ERA. It's near 7. And the only American League team that has a higher ERA from their relievers, Baltimore.
Well, it's also amazing these two teams have drastically different goals this year. As you see Yadi go from 0-2 to work himself a walk. The Nationals believe they can win a World Series this year. When you roll out a rotation like they have and a great young lineup, you should feel that way. But the bullpen has been tough. Baltimore's rebuilding. You know, there's going to be some issues there. But it's going to be hard to win a World Series with the bullpen throwing the way that they've got here for the Nationals.
And they've invested a ton of money in Patrick Corbin, Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, and we'll see that trio pitch in this series.
Oh, good.
Here's Jerko. What an at-bat there by Molina. 0-2, fouls off a few pitches, makes him work, and draws the walk. Typical Yachty, though.
Yep.
In the air, out to deep right. Eaton backing up, and he'll make the catch on the track. Reminder that Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by Steak and Shake, get 4 meals with 4 items for $4. 444, get more for 4, only at Steak and Shake. So Jerko drove it to deep right. And now with 2 outs, the batter is Harrison Bader. He's talking with Mike Shildt and Ali Marmol about Bader's usage here recently. And I said it seems to work. You get in late games, if Fowler's playing 2, teams will go to their bullpen, and all of a sudden at 7, Fowler moves to the right side. Then you have Wong 8, pitcher spot, then Carpenter. So lefties coming out of the pen, and that's where Bader emerges as a pinch hitter and a double switch opportunity arises.
It sets up really well, especially, and it just comes down to versatility. Again, we know that Harrison Bader, I mean, his goal is to be starting in center field day in, day out, regardless of righty lefty on the bump. Right now you got some guys that are swinging it, and some, you know, you're on a roll right now as a ball club. You won 7 out of 8, you're rattling off series wins, so it's about fitting in and helping out where you can. We saw Harrison a couple of games ago come off the bench, get a big knock, driving a run. It's important to be ready all the time. Harrison talked about that last year, you know, before it was his role to be playing every day, how he prepared himself every single day as if he were starting. And it's the same thing now. You prepare like you're going to, and then whatever chance you get, you run.
Fowler is hit safely in 13 of the past 15. We talked about Ozuna. And the Cardinals also with the red-hot Jose Martinez. So in the outfield, it's a tough lineup to crack at the moment. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Bader. Inside corner. And a strikeout, and that's number 2 tonight for Patrick Corbin. Midway through 2, and there's no score. Flaherty back on and looked good and sharp yesterday at home. 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 double plays turned behind him. And he was able to pitch around some of the errors committed by the Cardinals. But the double play helped out, and Flaherty picked up another win. He's now 3-1. And we check in with Erica with more on that.
Thank you, Dan. Well, the starting pitching certainly held up its end of the bargain in Michael Wacha's absence, who returns tonight after his return from the injured list. But I spoke with Jack Flaherty before the game today, and perhaps the starting pitching success we saw during the homestand was sparked by the 8-inning gem that was pitched by Miles Mikolas against the Mets last weekend. Jack Flaherty told me sometimes it takes just one to get everybody rolling. He came out and went 8 strong and said, okay, well, this is the bar for the year. He said Waino was joking around. Nobody really had gone 7. Nobody had gone 9, then Miles goes 8. It was kind of like, well, there's the bar right now, and someone's going to have to break it. It's one of those things that's constant competition between us, but it's fun to go out and follow someone who just pitches well, puts a little added pressure on the group.
On a hop, that's Howie Kendrick, who's 9 for 13 coming into this start against Michael Wacha. And so that's 4 up and 4 down. Matt Adams filling in for Ryan Zimmerman and sent everybody home. I mean, an absolute bomb from one of my favorites, Big City, into the upper deck here at Nats Park. So he's had 2 stints with the Cardinals and now in his 2nd stint with the Nationals.
You know what it means when somebody brings you back? They really like you.
Yep.
And you're a good fit. You're a good fit for the ball club, with what you do on the field, with what you do in the clubhouse. And that is certainly the case with Matt Adams. Honestly, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say a bad word about him. I mean, he's just such a good guy. Will do anything for you. Take some big-time ABs.
You know,
big City fan as well.
Credit. He got himself in such good shape a few years ago. Has stayed that way. And that's another way that you stay in the game. I mean, you become a versatile player to where you come off the bench with power for Dave Martinez. You can play first base. They've tried a little outfield with him like the Cardinals did. And you're a good teammate. And all those things coming together, and that's why Big City's still here.
Well, he'll give plenty of opportunities with Zimmerman on the IL.
And there's a base hit into right for Matt Adams. Washington had a big day yesterday. This is Scott's triple threat. First team in the history of the game. So we talked about those young 3 players all homering in the same game. Incredible. 21 years of age or younger. Soto, Robles, Keyboom, Scott's triple threat. Here's Carter Keyboom. So he's at shortstop with Trey Turner hurt. And Turner apparently not coming back anytime soon as he squared to bunt. I was watching the game too, and it happened a couple of weeks ago, I guess. And you know, you're taught this as a pitcher.
Got to tuck that thing in.
Tuck it in.
Got to get that finger behind, and it does happen sometimes. I mean, sometimes a pitcher just sees you turn a little bit, and the eyesight gets taken off of where you want it to be.
There's Martinez in right near the line. He's been busy here the first couple of innings and makes the catch. It's turned to Brad Thompson's Toyota key to the game.
Well, it's simple but effective, and especially for Michael Wacha, it's strike 1. You get strike 1, you go to work off of that. That had been a little bit of a struggle for him so far this year. It's just getting ahead and going to work. We saw him do that a little bit better in his last start against the Brewers. He's doing it here. And by the way, he's got a little bit of a curveball today. It looks a lot better than we've seen here recently, but strike 1 is going to be a huge key.
So 2 outs and the runner at first, and Brian Dozier. That front leg, that's where he had the tendonitis for Michael Wacha. How would that hinder you as a pitcher with that curveball?
Well, I think especially it's important with everything. Being able to get over your front side. For him, the front side obviously is that left leg. As you see him put a lot of pressure on that, down in the zone, getting over that knee, not spinning around the side of it. As you see the landing right here, just think about how much pressure, think how big he is and how much pressure is on that knee. But he gets over it well, and specifically with the curveball. One of the biggest things with a curveball is being able to finish it. Reaching out as far as you can and being able to pull it down. Well, when the knee is bothering you, you're going to have a tendency to pull off of it. Even that one there off the plate, but good 12-6 break. It could really hinder you. I'm thinking this little stint on the IL for him, I think it's helping him, being able to get over the front side. I mean, that's the goal. You take a few days off now so you don't have to do it later.
Dozier had 42 home runs back in 2016 as a member of the Minnesota Twins. And he lines it into the gap in left center, but there's Bader to cut it off. 2 hits in the inning. So runners at first and second, and Yan Gomes.
Well, a little cutter right here, just up in the zone a little bit. Dozier doesn't necessarily hammer it, but gets it out there.
Matt Wieters, catcher here the last couple of years. Number of seasons in Baltimore, now back up in St. Louis. And the catchers for the Nationals, this man, Yan Gomes, and Kurt Suzuki. So 2 outs and 2 on. And Gomes looks at a ball. He was an all-star, acquired from Cleveland late November in the offseason. And it's 2 balls and no strikes as we get a look at the bio here of Yan Gomes. Big guy, 6'2", 215, from Brazil. All-star last year. Silver Slugger in 2013. And the deal there with Cleveland involving 4 players. Two and one.
This has been an area so far this year that Michael Wacha has done a great job in. Runners in scoring position. He's been able to bear down the opposition, hitting just 125 against them in these situations. You don't want to get to the point where you're 2-0, but does a great job of getting back into counts.
And here's the 2-1 pitch to Gomes. On deck, Patrick Corbin. And the 2-2 in the dirt. Full count with 2 outs and 2 runners on. And he walked him. So the base is loaded for Corbin. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on demand with MLB.tv. And your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to stream live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. First year with the Washington Nationals. Patrick Corbin, and there's strike one. Came in as a 168 career hitter. No home runs, and is driven in 20 in his career, which began with the Arizona Diamondbacks back in 2012 as one of their top picks. And the 0-1, now 0-2.
Wacha was showing him a little respect off the bat, starting him off with a breaking ball. That gets and ties him up a little bit.
Adams with the base hit to right. Dozier the single to center. Gomes walked, and now with 2 strikes on Corbin, 0-2. It seems like if you're going to get that called strike, it's up in the zone.
It has been so far in this one, and most of them, I mean, when you look at the K zone, they're there. You just rarely see that. You don't see the strike at the top of the zone called. Kind of glad we're seeing it. I feel like we saw that more, you'd get more swings up there.
And now time called by Molina. Wants to make sure they're on the same page. And now a quick
Emptied your
word from
digital
Great
wallet?
Southern Bank.
We understand. Great Southern Bank. We're fans too.
With Brad Thompson, Erica Weston, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Bases loaded, 1 ball and 2 strikes on the pitcher Corbin. As we're just underway here in Washington, no score in the bottom of the 2nd.
Well, usually a lefty here, a changeup be a good pitch, but if you throw it for a strike, you might speed him up.
And he lines it foul and out of play.
pitches have certainly added up this inning. Michael Wacha, 9 balls, 13 strikes. But it's all about stopping them from getting in. You've got the situation you want. You've got the pitcher up right here. Pretty sure that Michael could get him to swing through a changeup. But if you're going to throw the changeup, once again, it's going to be down under the zone.
And the 1-2 pitch. Now 2-2. As you noted with those numbers, it's been a long inning here for Michael Wacha. And the 2-2. Spoiled. Well, these are the at-bats you go back and look at as to why maybe you don't go into the 7th inning or the 8th inning. Those long at-bats where you'd love to be able to put Corbin away.
Well, Corbin is doing a good job up there. He's battled. He's fouled a couple of off. Now Michael Wacha has had a few where, I don't know, it's a tough situation. You got bases loaded. You want to attack. You know it is the pitcher, but nothing breaks your back more than the pitcher getting a big knock. You still have to execute.
Full count. So they're off with the pitch. 3-2, 2 outs. Bases loaded here in the home half of the second. We'll do it again. This has been an aspect, for whatever reason, of the Cardinals that has gone against them at times, and that's getting the opposing pitchers out.
Well, Milwaukee was a backbreaker for sure. It seemed like every time their pitcher came up, it might as well have been a middle of the order bat.
And that's high. A 10-pitch at bat for Corbin, and a 1-0 Washington lead. Back-to-back walks to Gomes and Corbin, 8 and 9 in the lineup, and it's 1-0.
Well, that was something that bit Michael Wacha 2 starts ago against the Dodgers. Was a bunch of free passes. Was a lot better against the Brewers. And as you mentioned, that's one of those ABs you go back and look at, realize you were up 0-2. Good at bat by Corbin, but one you need to be able to finish off.
And a strike to Adam Eaton, back to the top of the lineup.
It's important in a situation like this, though. There's frustration for sure. You walk 2 guys, you walk 8, you walk 9, you walk the pitcher, and you walk in a run. Adam Eaton can hurt you. You've got to be able to dial right back in this at bat.
1 ball and 1 strike. He struck out looking. High strike, didn't like it. Same to Carpenter to begin the night. This is the 30th pitch coming up in the inning. And the 1-1. Lined, and it's fair. Out to left. 1 run is in. Ozuna's throw to the plate. Not in time. A throw down to second. That's not in time. 3-0 Nationals.
Yachty set up away. This thing's off the plate, but Eaton, and he's been doing this all year, he hits it where it's pitched. If it's up in the zone, if he can get his bat to it, he's going to poke it that way. He does so. Throw away offline here by Marcell Ozuna. No time to get him at second. It's a great at-bat right there by Adam Eaton. Be able to just poke that thing out there. Lets it travel, doesn't do too much.
Mike Maddox out to visit. Cardinal pitching coach. And now it's Robles, who popped out first time up. You know, that's one with Ozuna too that you're probably saying that throw's got to go into second. You concede the run. You know he's having struggles this year throwing the baseball, but because of that, Eaton heads up. He takes second.
Okay, smart base runner, and you're right. Either go straight into second or at least have that throw down, so you hit a cutoff man and have that option there.
And that's fouled back for strike one. Robles had an elbow injury last April, and that's why he was in the minor leagues. Otherwise, he would have been called up more than likely ahead of Soto. It's funny how things happen, huh?
They say everything happens for a reason, right? And I'd say twofold. For Soto, for sure, and for the Nationals. You know, you get a chance to see what you have, and you've got two young stud players. But Soto, man, last year, the year that he had was just monstrous. When he's being referenced in passing, as far as rookie records go, Ken Griffey Jr., that's pretty good.
And now an 0-2 pitch to Victor Robles.
Well, they were attacking him inside in his first at-bat. He will expand his zone. I think that if you stay away, if you stay down and away under the zone, he will swing.
Here's a 1-2. And he stays alive. There's no doubt the one that Walker's really kicking himself over was the walk with the bases loaded to Corbin, but even prior to that had 2 strikes on Gomes and couldn't put him away.
Well, they're both frustrating ABs, and then you leave one up. Good piece of hitting once again to Eaton, but it's amazing how fast things can snowball if you don't get the guys out that you really should get.
And now it's pitch number 35 of the inning and number 49 in the game. And a strikeout. So Walker has struck out 2. 3-0 National. Tonight, game number 3, bring you Blues live right after our Cardinals post game here on Fox Sports Midwest and streaming on Fox Sports Go. Good luck to the Blues in Big D tonight. Number 2 jersey, that was McInnes. There's Pronger and Kachuk. That was a pretty good team when you had that trio.
You think? Got some throwback fans today. I'm digging it. Cardinal fans, Blues fans, St. Louis fans all over the place.
Keith Kachuk with a couple of sons that are playing in the NHL. And
pretty impressive family.
Wow. And his daughter is a great field hockey player too.
I know he is very proud of his kids. Brady and Matthew have both done great things already in the NHL.
Al McInnes still working for the St. Louis Blues in the front office. Here's Michael Wacha. Keith Kachuk scouting for the Blues, and Chris Pronger is in the front office with the Panthers.
I believe also Robert Thomas stays with the Kachucks.
Is that right?
Yeah, at least did at the beginning of the year. He said him and Walt wrestle over the remote every once in a while. He doesn't get the remote very much.
I would think that would be really tough. I mean, trying to get Walt out of the way in front of a goal was hard enough.
Yeah, try to get him off of a lazy boy. Probably
even
ain't gonna
tougher.
happen. Yeah.
Here's a 1-2 pitch now to Michael Wacha. And a strikeout. So Corbin, first time through with 3 strikeouts. Mentioned that this was one of the biggest free agent deals in baseball this offseason, and he signed for $160 million and got an extra year from the Nationals. A lot of talk that he would go to the Yankees. Washington offered another year, and he's here. Mike Rizzo, the general manager, there was a familiarity with Max Scherzer. He was in Arizona when he drafted Max and would scout him at Mizzou. And then Strasburg, as the GM here, he drafted him number 1 overall. So this really the first guy he's gone outside maybe the comfort zone of knowing one of these pitchers and brought him in-house. And we'll see Mad Max coming up. Always a treat to watch. One of the greats ever to come out of St. Louis, and Max Scherzer.
That guy's been worth every penny. He's my favorite pitcher in the big leagues to watch. I love the way he competes, goes about things.
I think I'm with you. And Steven Strasburg So much fanfare when he first burst onto the scene.
Well, he was like one of the first young guns. I remember watching his games because they televised everything. I mean, his AA games were on TV. He's hitting 100 miles an hour, and there were oohs and ahs. It's amazing what can happen in a couple of years.
Right.
Now everybody's hitting 100. Now, not to take anything away from Strasburg, but he's still fantastic, and he knows how to pitch. And I think that he's kind of gotten he's gotten more of an arsenal over the years. He's not just that hard-throwing righty, but you get a lot of guys that tickle those triple digits now.
It's 2-2 the count here on Matt Carpenter. And tap foul.
You see those two guys, though, we talk about, and that's who you talk about when you talk about the Nationals. It is Scherzer, it is Strasburg when it comes to the pitching staff. That was a monster deal Patrick Corbin got. Yet you really don't talk about him like he's, one of those guys, and he certainly is. He's put up big-time numbers. He had a great year last year, earned every penny of that contract. He's having a good year this year, but it must be nice to sign a deal like that and kind of feel like there's no pressure.
That's 4 strikeouts for Corbin. And it brings in Paul Goldschmidt, our May T-shirt of the month, May 7th, Cardinals.com/T-shirt. And it's Paul Goldschmidt. So 4 strikeouts now for Corbin. Here's Goldschmidt. If he homers today or tomorrow, he, along with Marcell Ozuna, just the 3rd pair of teammates in the history of Cardinals baseball to have double-digit homers in the same month. Most recent, and I say recent, but it was August of 2004, and it was Albert Pujols and Jim Edmonds. And then you have to go all the way back to July of 1940.
Whoa.
Medwick and Mize. And the catch made by Eaton and Wright. 1-2-3 go the Cardinals. Road jerseys. We'll see that at Wrigley Field for the first time this Saturday. A lot of Cardinal fans when we come to Washington. And now it's Soto. 3, 4, and 5 for the Nationals against Michael Wacha. Long, and I mean a long second inning. And let's see if he can't get back right and give you some length in this game.
It's a big inning for him. 35 pitches last inning for Michael Wacha, and he started out this game pounding the strike zone, going after guys. Gomes, he had 2 strikes on. Corbin, he had 2 strikes on, ended up walking him. It's attack mode now. You got to go. You got to go get him.
Soto has homered in back-to-back games 3 times in the last 4. Mike Maddox, former pitching coach with the Nationals for 2 seasons, 2016 and 17. Also pitched parts of 2 years for the Expos. Boy, does he take a rip or what?
He does for sure. The thing about Soto, he's so young, but he's got a great approach. He doesn't swing at the off speed out of the zone. That's usually the first thing. Young hitter comes up. Soto hunted fastballs last year, and it's getting to the point where teams aren't throwing him as many fastballs. But if you don't throw your off speed for a strike, he takes it. He takes his walks. It's a very advanced approach for a very young player.
And the 0-2 pitch. Up and in, and watch out. He also plays with a little flair too, and I've seen him where he's hit a ball and kind of stared back at the pitcher, and this one you can understand why he's upset.
I'd
That's
be
at his
upset
head
too. Yeah, you want to establish in, but not necessarily up there.
And it looked like Yachty was telling him, hey, it's a mistake.
No
that was,
intent.
yeah.
Tell you what, it sets up that pitch pretty well though. Gibby's watching at home saying, yeah.
I like that. It's in the dirt now, full count. Kendrick on deck, and then Adams here in the home half of the 3rd. 3-0 Washington. Bases loaded walk for Patrick Corbin, brought in a run. Then Adam Eaton with 2 outs, a single to left to drive in 2. And it's another 3-ball count for Michael Walkup. And a ground ball taken there by Jed Jerko at second base tonight. And that's the first out. Brings in Howie Kendrick. Prior to his last at bat, which was a ground out to second, Kendrick had reached in 7 straight plate appearances against Michael Wacha. Had his number.
Nice to break that cycle.
We told you about the very fine numbers coming in. 9 for 13. Now 9 for 14. And he has been a productive player. He's driven in 13 in just 51 plate appearances. And a high fly ball to center. Harrison Bader there for out number 2. And it brings in Matt Adams. Matt still calling St. Louis home. Said it was a dream come true to come back to the Cardinals last year. Had some big moments too. Cardinals were in Los Angeles when they made the deal, and he was just shocked.
Oh, I know it.
He thought it was a joke.
As we were talking about before, it's just a testament to how good of a fit he was with the Cardinals. Certainly, once again, signing back with the Nationals, how good of a fit he is for them as well.
Spring training, he homered against Michael Wacha, but Matt did tell me, he said, I got to tell you, Dan, he said, Michael Wacha is throwing as well as he's thrown in years. And he even mentioned the near no-hitter that he had against the Nationals. And that was during Michael's rookie season. And if not for a ball that just got over his glove off the bat of Ryan Zimmerman, and that would have been a no-hitter for Michael Wacha. Then he went on that terrific postseason run, became the NLCS MVP. As City puts it out of play, Ryan Zimmerman broke it up with an infield single. And Pete Kozma did everything he could to make the play. It was only his 9th career start, and he became the 3rd rookie to have an attempt broken up with 1 out to go. Oh. And now City pops it up. The shift was on, and that's out of play off the top of the dugout.
That was a cool moment. I know it's heartbreaking at the end of it to watch him go out there, you know, in his 9th major league start and have that game. I remember watching that one. I was on the couch jumping up. I think I tried to catch it for him.
I think we all did.
It didn't quite happen, but an amazing moment for him.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Matt Adams. And a swing and a miss. Yachty with the tag and a strikeout, number 3 tonight for Wacha. Patrick Corbin has struck out 4. He's walked 2. No hits allowed thus far. DeYoung on the first pitch to short. 1 away. That's how we start play here in the top of the 4th. The Kubota Power Stats, and it's Marcell Ozuna. See the last 14 games hitting the ball with authority and exit velocity.
Doing so to all fields. He looks incredibly comfortable in the box right now. We know this 3-run deficit for the Cardinals, the way they're swinging it right now. That's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's all about keep putting together good ABs. It's interesting right now with DeYoung, by the way, swinging at that first pitch. With Corbin, that's likely oftentimes the best pitch you're going to get, but you almost have to balance that with wanting to get into their bullpen as well.
Sure.
And that's probably one of the talks when you go into a game. You know, it's all about approach. How are we going to attack this guy? Well, Corbin does a great job of getting ahead. You know, he likes to slider you to death after he gets that first one.
Slowly hit to short. Key boom. Missed it. It'll be an error, and Ozuna was hustling all the way, and he'll wind up at second base. You got to have a little help too.
I think it goes back to your earlier point of put the ball in play. You put the ball in play, you never know what might happen. Well, he gets out in front of this one right here. That one just stayed down. Keyboom was looking for that big hop, didn't get it.
I thought that was really key in Flaherty's start yesterday. The fact that there were errors behind him, but yet he got a double play. He pitched around him and kept his composure. It was big.
It was huge. You know what else I think is big in an outing like that? Usually when we talk about great Jack Flaherty outings, it's 7, 8, 9, 10 punch outs. He struck out 4 in that game, but he got double plays, and he was able to work deeper into the game, you know, just getting some weak contact, getting some good defense behind him after a couple of errors. The game previous also for Miles Michaelis that Erica Weston was talking to Jack about before, he struck out 4 as well in his 8 innings. Doesn't have to be all punch outs to get deep into ball games.
0-2 the count. Good numbers for Jose Martinez with runners in scoring position. 368 the average. Got to wonder too, if you're Dave Martinez and you know the numbers, and it seems like it's contagious right now in their bullpen with the struggles they've had. Are you likely then to keep in guys like Corbin, Strasburg, Scherzer, and not go to your pen?
Yes. Yes, for sure. And actually, that's been the case with Corbin so far. You talked earlier about how many innings he's thrown.
That's a liner into center field and a base hit. Just a rope off the bat of Martinez, and the Cardinals will bring the tying run to the plate.
Unfortunately, Jose hits this one too hard to score Ozuna from second. He does. He crushes this thing.
Ball was stung. The Cardinals have their first hit of the night.
When he tries to go in with the heater, gets it in there. Jose does a great job of just pulling his hands in. Just keeps hitting.
It brings in Yadier Molina. Walked his first time and trying to make it a 16-game hitting streak to match his career high.
These are those situations we've talked about with Yadi. Very aggressive with a runner in scoring position.
And Corbin is thinking that. Ground ball, double play, 4-6-3. Cardinals strand a runner, can't bring in Ozuna. The Lou Fuse Automotive Group presents this date in Cardinals history. See more at Fuse.com. April 29th of 06, the first year of the new ballpark. And Albert with home run number 14 before May, which at that point set the record. It's been tied 3 times. And find out more at Fuse.com. But Albert Pujols against the Nationals then, and then later in his career would hit home run number 400 at this ballpark.
Albert's pretty good. Ooh. And what we got to see in St. Louis was something that, you know, we might not ever get to see somebody that has a tear like that has a decade plus like that. I mean, he was the best player on earth.
Came through all the time with the game on the line or a big moment. There's a strike to Keyboom.
Nice breaking ball to get ahead. That was the funny thing with Albert. It wasn't funny. It was actually very intelligent. In a situation,
ouch.
That hurts. I mean, Tony would just manage as if the 3-run home run was coming. So it's like, all right, I'm going to get my closer up. I'm going to get my setup guy up, get all these things going, knowing that that guy's still 3 hitters away, but he's probably going to get up, and chances are when he gets there, he's going to hit a bomb, tie the game, or put you ahead.
Would you guys even in the bullpen early in a game? I mean, I know bullpen guys early in a game, unless the starter is getting roughed up,
Yeah, we're chatting.
Yeah, you're chatting. You're not really in the game. That's a hop to Jerko. Would you guys kind of stop and watch though? And
always
when Albert,
in the game.
Okay, you're always in the game. But when Albert was up, were you really into the game?
Yes. Yeah, he is. I don't care if you are at the stadium, if you're watching on TV, or if you were his teammate. It was must see when that guy came up, and I cannot wait to see what it looks like when he finally gets the opportunity to come back to Busch Stadium.
And a strike to Dozier after the ground out by Keyboom. Dozier is single and a run scored in the second inning. 42 home runs that he hit a few years ago with Minnesota. Then the following year he hit 34. And in terms of middle infielders and power, not many better than this guy at the plate who signed a one-year deal in the offseason to come to Washington.
He said at this point, Brian Dozier said, I want to prove myself. He felt like this was going to be a good spot for him to get the opportunity. As you take a look at the bio here for Brian Dozier.
Also a Gold Glover, but 20 home runs plus the last 6 years. And this season thus far, he's got 4. He's picked up by the Dodgers for the stretch run, and then became a free agent. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wacha to Dozier. It's been 12 days since Michael Wacha last pitched, and he picked up his first win of the year. That was 2 runs over 6 innings against Milwaukee, and you just wonder if he's a little rusty. I mean, people will say, well, it's 12 days. 1 turn in the rotation. But
well,
these guys are creatures of habit.
Yeah, you're used to pitching every 5 days. You do have your routine. And you have seen a couple of those, and that kind of tells you feel might be off a tiny bit. He did look sharp early in this one. You saw the fastball to Soto earlier that almost got him in the head. There's one there that gets away. There's been a couple of breaking balls that have popped out. I'll tell you what would be nice right here is something we were just talking about in reference to Jack Flaherty. His little 2-ball.
And it brings in Gomes, and then Corbin, back-to-back walks in the second inning. Corbin came with the bases loaded, and then it was Adam Eaton with a base hit with 2 outs. It scored 2. So 1 out and the runner at first base. He's been getting some strikes and getting ahead in counts, but not being able to put some of these hitters away.
Yeah, and I don't know if that is feel, and he's still trying to work through it. As you said, it has been a little while, or if it's trying to be a little bit too fine once you get to 2 strikes. So I don't think you have to do that. Not with his stuff.
Another check on Brian Dozier. Cardinals, by the way, in terms of stolen bases, and it may surprise some folks, but the Cardinals are 4th right now in the National League in steals with 15, leading the way. The opponent tonight, the Nationals, with 20. And that's with Trey Turner missing time, and he's the one that you think about with stolen bases for the Nats.
Yeah, Turner had 4 stolen bases before ended up on the IL. Robles has 7. Eaton's got 4 of them. Soto will run a little bit. But it is nice to see the Cardinals on a leaderboard like that. And the Cardinals are smart with it.
And it's hit to the right side and a base hit past Jerko. And Dozier on his way to third base.
Well, Michael Wacha makes the pitch, gets the ground ball. But you have a little bit of a shift on. Jerko is played up towards the middle here. Nice cutter away. I mean, this is a well-executed pitch. You see where Jed Jerko is, and you see this ball just kind of scoot right through there.
Nobody up and throwing for the Cardinals yet in their bullpen. And you got Corbin here. And he comes up again with runners on. 1st and 3rd. 3-0 our score in the home half of the 4th with 1 down. On a chilly night here in our nation's capital. Goldschmidt holding at first base. Carpenter close to the bag at third and even. And there's a strike with Corbin backing away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Corbin did not begin playing baseball till his junior year of high school, and he just wanted to try out for the team. They gave him a ball,
not, right?
And the legend of that story, and you hear different variations, but lefty, tall, athletic, played multiple sports, and was throwing low to mid 80s, and had never really played organized baseball. They said, well, we'll take that guy.
We'll give him a whirl.
Yeah,
that's turned out quite well for him. It is funny, the story, and I've read several versions of it about him showing up to the tryout in the gymnasium.
Right.
Some saying he's wearing jeans, some say
flip-flops.
sweatpants. Yeah. Some say he was throwing 95. Others say, man, he didn't even hit 80.
But he was left-handed and tall.
That's right.
And the 1-2 pitch, grounder pulled foul. No one argues, though, that he was an athletic kid growing up. Good basketball player. As I mentioned, multiple sports. And then he went to junior college and got better and better and better and became a top pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks. 2-time All-Star with the D-backs.
Not sure how many pitchers out there that can dunk with authority, but I believe Corbin to be one of those.
That's up and in, 2-2. I think of Amir Garrett of Cincinnati, who
he can play.
Played Division I basketball at St. John's.
I guarantee if you ask any of the Cardinals pitchers, they'll say they can throw it down. I'm just not sure if that's correct. Highly competitive group.
And it is a foul ball. Goldschmidt tried to make that ball get back in fair territory and get it on the short hop, and then get Dozier in the rundown, but ruled a foul ball. He has really calmed everything down on the Cardinal infield. Paul Goldschmidt.
He has, for sure. Just
Smart
makes everybody
player.
better. Yeah, like that one right there, as you mentioned. Attack it.
Yep.
You see where Dozier is.
And it's also understanding the situation. The 2-2 pitch. Michael Wacha to Corbin, who has seen a lot of pitches so far. And that's what he's been doing.
The pitcher's not supposed to be doing this. He's not supposed to be fouling everything off. You see all the pitches he's seen so far from Michael Wacha. Hard to be efficient when the pitcher's seeing 16 pitches.
And now they're on the horn to the bullpen. And that's out of play again.
Now these are the kind of ABs that you hope to see going forward here for the Cardinals against Corbin, fouling him off, making him throw more and more pitches. And they're not afraid to go over 100 pitches with Corbin. He's done that his last 3 starts. But make him work a little bit. Get into that bullpen.
And a swing and a miss and a strikeout on the 9th pitch of that at bat. And now 21 here in this inning and 85 for the game. So 2 outs with 2 on, and it brings in Adam Eaton. That's strikeout number 4 for Michael. Runners at the corners, and Eaton, who's singled with 2 outs and the bases loaded back in the 2nd. He's also struck out. Giovanni Gallegos starting to throw. It seems like nowadays you really don't have a typical quote-unquote long man, but to me that would be the guy that you look at for multiple innings.
I do think that's another thing. A beauty of the Cardinals pen is you have multiple guys that you can stretch out if in fact you need to. By the way, the corresponding move for Michael Wacha coming back off the IL is Ryan Helsley has been optioned back to AAA Memphis. Helsley showed off a big arm. He's going to be good.
Oh yeah,
he's going to be really good. I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of him this year.
And a high fly ball lifted out to deep right. Martinez back, spun around and makes the catch. Jose Martinez near the wall and makes the catch. St. Louis Cardinals baseball brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. And by Missouri Baptist Medical Center. Doctors call it world-class medicine. You'll call it Mobap. We're at Nationals Park. Jed Jerka will be the hitter. In 2005, the Expos moved to D.C. Originally played at RFK Stadium.
I was a huge fan of RFK. You know why, Dan? It was enormous.
It was huge.
It was enormous.
But you were a ground ball guy. You didn't have to worry about that stuff.
Every once in a while. You could give up a tank job and it ends up not even on the warning track at RFK.
I still think that we will have at some point baseball back in Montreal.
I believe so too. A lot of traction there.
That's a foul ball by Jed Jerko.
The question is it expansion or relocation?
Well, I think even the bigger question is Canadian ownership being willing not only for whatever a expansion fee may be or relocation, but a new ballpark. But Canadian ownership would be, I think, imperative with that.
Yeah.
But they, without question, need a new ballpark, and Cardinals played an exhibition there at Olympic Stadium last year, and Vlad Guerrero Jr. had the walk-off.
It was pretty cool actually to see Vlad Guerrero Jr. make his debut the other day and came rolling into the ballpark in his dad Expos jersey.
And Jerko is rung up, and that's a strikeout number 5 tonight for Corbin. Cardinals have just one hit.
Well, strikeout number 5, but only a second one on the slider. This one here just down under the zone. Jerko not able to lay off of that thing. Sees fastball out of the hand and can't stop it. And this is one area, and there have been plenty of areas that Patrick Corbin has been successful in this year, but getting the first batter out of the inning. Batters came in hitting just a $129 off him, leadoff hitters. You get that first guy out, you get your momentum rolling.
And a strike to Bader. He was called out on strikes first time up. The splits with Corbin. Lefties hitting 209. The right-handers 195. He's only allowed 5 home runs. And maybe he's given up 6. How about 6? It's gone into right center, and a home run, and a long one off the bat of Harrison Bader. That's home run number 3 for the Cardinals center fielder. This is one of the deepest parts of the park, partner, in our Nissan drive of the game.
Well, you mentioned the splits, but we know Harrison Bader splits as well. Sees lefties, lets this one travel, gets a slider up in the zone and crushes this thing right center field. Harrison's got big time power. He's shown it off before. We know he's got the wheels. We know he's got the glove. You see the distance, 108 miles an hour off the bat.
As Waka taps it left side. Play made easily for out number 2. 18 career home runs. 16 of the 18 on the road.
See him just stay back, stay through it, drive the ball. He knew it. He knew it right off the bat. That thing was going out. As you mentioned, that is not an easy part of the ballpark to touch right there. And there you go. Cardinals get something going offensively.
Wonder how tempted Mike Schilt was with maybe pinch hitting for Michael Wacha. He's got the bottom of the 5th coming up, pitch count near 90, and that means he's got Robles, Soto, and Kendrick. And Kendrick has had, as I mentioned earlier, those gaudy numbers against Michael Wacha.
Yeah, you already had Gallegos going last inning. You'd have to believe that it will be a short hook for him out there with the pitch count where it is. It'll be an eyeball test thing, but they'll have Gallegos ready.
2-0 the count on Carpenter. He has struck out twice. Corbin, with 5 more strikeouts tonight, has 29 in 3.5 games now wearing this uniform at home. He has been a strikeout machine. It's now 25 innings here at home, including tonight, and 29 strikeouts.
That's pretty good. He attacks. I mean, that's the biggest thing with Corbin.
And that'll be a walk. And again, the Cardinals will have the tying run come to the plate, and the third walk issue by Corbin.
A good eye by Matt Carpenter. Remember, he was rung up in the first inning on a pitch, same height, just over the inside part of the plate as opposed to the outside. You got to like having somebody on ahead of this guy.
Mentioned earlier, he could join Ozuna. 1 month, 2 guys, both with at least 10 home runs. Last done in 2004. And then the 1940s, it was done by the St. Louis Cardinals. And that was Joe Ducky Medwick, who was a 10-time All-Star, then elected to the Hall of Fame in 1968. And Johnny Mize, he did it as well. And Goldschmidt lines it into center field. That's a base hit. Carpenter stopping at second base with 2 down. And it brings in Paul DeJong. Boy, he went down to get this one.
He certainly did. This thing is way down there. It's exactly where they want it. He just gets the barrel to it. You see the power numbers for a guy like Goldschmidt, and it's easy to believe that, you know, when you just look at it on the surface, if you don't get a chance to watch him all the time, that's just kind of what he is. It's all or nothing. Certainly not the case for Paul Goldschmidt.
So 2 outs and 2 on. MLB WAR leaders, wins above replacement among position players. Bellinger, Trout, Yelich, and then Paul DeJong, who, by the way, is trying to extend his 8-game hitting streak. He leads all shortstops, 18 extra base hits, and he's slugging .604. And the 1-0. Good cut. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I'd say he's fit in that 3 spot of the lineup quite well so far. It's not an easy place to hit. You've got to be able to provide big time protection for a guy like Goldschmidt so they don't just pitch around him all the time. And he's got great protection behind him as well. This Cardinals lineup, and as you mentioned off the top, Carpenter still hasn't got it going to the extent that we know he can get. Watch out when that happens.
There's so much talk in the offseason about a lack of movement. We just saw the WAR. Well, look this up today. Top 15 players in WAR are all 28 years old or younger. The top 8, 27 or younger. And that's why you're not seeing those deals going to, I don't think, older players. It is a young man's game. And part of that is also salary.
Sure. I think the problem with that, and you're right. I mean, look, guys are getting to the big leagues faster. They're more complete players when they get there. I think the issue that you're going to have here when it comes to veterans not getting contracts is they're probably going to have to get a bite at the apple a little bit earlier than they do currently.
No question. The 2-1 pitch now to Paul DeJong. The oldest of that group were Marcus Semien and Colt Wong. Both were 28 of the top 15 players in WAR here in 2019. And now it's a chance here for Paul DeJong to put the Cardinals on top in a game that just has felt like Washington's up by 10. Not a lot of offense for the Cardinals, but they got something going here. And he walked him. So 2 walks in the inning, 4 in the game. And flirting with danger here. Marcell Ozuna reached on an air, also grounded out. And Arcia drive to success. Most home runs in April. And look at that, 967. The home runs are flying out of ballparks. That's Derek Lilliquist, the former Cardinal pitching coach and bullpen coach, and also you dealt with him in the minor leagues.
Yeah, I had Lily in A-ball in Peoria my first year in pro ball. And it's you don't see that very often. 2 teams just flip-flop pitching coaches, but Cardinals get Mike Maddox. Lily heads over to the Nationals. I really like Lily a lot. I think he was great for me.
So 2 outs and the bases loaded. And fouled back. Cardinals picked up a run, a home run hit by Harrison Bader, walked by Carpenter. Goldschmidt, by the way, his first hit against a lefty this season. He was 0 for 13.
Cardinals have not seen a ton of lefties.
Then DeYoung drawing the walk. And for Paul, his second walk of the game. So they're all loaded up for Marcell Ozuna. Pitch count at 83.
Last couple of outings for Patrick Corbin, 106 pitches, 107 and 103. So he's been working a lot.
And the 1-1. The Nats have lost 3 straight series at Miami, at Colorado, and then over the weekend against the Padres. And this will be pitch number 25 of the inning coming up. Nobody throwing in the Nats bullpen for Dave Martinez. The 2-1 pitch gets away, and a run will score. And the Cardinals have pulled to within 1. It's now a 3-2 Nationals lead.
Tell you what, we have seen some wider misses than we've seen all year out of Patrick Corbin. This one just kind of pops out way high. I think he's trying to make sure he gets this one in on Ozuna and overcompensate, leaves it up. Good jump by Carpenter. Now here we go. You mentioned, I mean, you're absolutely right. This game felt like it was getting out of hand. It felt like it was very lopsided. Then all of a sudden, here we are.
Carpenter now has scored in 6 straight games. Season high streak for the Cardinals. That's ruled a wild pitch. And a base hit could put the Cardinals on top. A 3-1 to Marcell Ozuna. Now 3-2.
Marcell Ozuna has hammered fastballs this year. You got to think that he's probably going to see another one of those sliders.
First base open. 3-2 pitch. Ozuna hits it up the middle. Base hit. 1 run is in, and here comes another. And the Cardinals go on top. Marcell Ozuna drives in 2.
Well, instead of going with the slider, Patrick Corbin goes with the fastball. This one catches a little more plate, and Marcell Ozuna puts it in play. Gets it right back up the box and gets himself a couple more. He is pumped up. Cardinals are pumped up, and this game has got a whole new life.
The Cardinals, their first lead of the night. Ozuna is driven in 28. And here's Jose Martinez. Last time he was up was in the 4th. And the Cardinals did not have a hit. as he picked up the first hit of the night. There was a single to center. 28 runs batted in April. New month high for Ozuna. And that's ripped out to left. Get going, Marcel. Almost tripped around the bag at second. They're going to wave him in. And Jose Martinez drives him in. 5-3 St. Louis. A 5-run inning against Corbin here in the top of the 5th.
Patrick Corbin had it going. I mean, he was on cruise control until this inning, and that man strikes again. Marcell Ozuna is flying from first base. As you see him just get this slider, leaves it middle. Ozuna's flying. I mean, that's about as quick as I've seen him go right there. You see the reaction here. Jose Martinez. What do you call that dance? You do that one too after a good call.
I have no idea.
Okay, let's act like that doesn't happen.
And Molina, base hit into center. Here comes Martinez. No throw. 6-3. That's 6 consecutive that have reached base for the Cardinals. All this done with 2 outs after the home run hit by Bader. And that extends the hitting streak to 16 games for Yadier Molina. That ties his career high. And now they finally get somebody up in their pen. That's Justin Miller. This inning started with Jed Jerko. And he'll bat for the second time here in inning number 5.
I think it goes back to the earlier point with the struggles in the bullpen. You have a game where a few minutes ago that the Nationals had the lead. You want to be able to extend your starter even when things start going wrong. You think that he's going to be able to make an adjustment. You feel a little bit better about him as you see a little pick over to first, maybe to buy a little time. The pitches by inning, though, cruising. 9-pitch 4th inning, 30 pitches so far in this inning and counting for Patrick Corbin.
And another check on Molina. This is to give the bullpen and Justin Miller time to get loose. As I mentioned, they didn't have him up until a couple of minutes ago.
That's a bad feeling as a starter. First of all, to have it all collapse and then get the call a couple times to pick over it. You know exactly what's going on.
And a foul ball by Jerko. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Jed started the inning with a strikeout. Then the home run hit by Bader. Walker grounded out. And then a walk, single, double, single.
I got to be honest, it didn't feel like that was going to happen.
Not the way Corbin was going.
But that's kind of the way that this offense is.
And Jerko pops it up. And the catch made by Dozier. With 1 out, Harrison Bader stepped to the plate and delivers that blow. And then 5 more come around to score. On tap, the remainder of these, and it's presented by Budweiser. Wainwright and Sanchez tomorrow. Michaelis and Scherzer, that's a good one for game 3. Then Hudson and Strasburg in the day game on Thursday. Then after that, we're off to the windy city of Chicago. Cardinals now with a 6-3 lead here in the home half of the 5th. Victor Robles takes a ball. This is where you want to see a shutdown inning from Michael Wacha, and then probably turn it over to your bullpen. Pitch count at 88. 1-1.
The Cardinals just took every bit of momentum in this ball game. Took the late arriving crowd out of it, Dan. And then to be able to shut it down quickly in this one, it's huge. The bullpen for the Cardinals has been such a huge strength so far. Michael Wacha trying to stay efficient here. Pitch count at 90. Had that very long inning earlier, 35 pitch second inning.
Grounder, charging, DeYoung, Robles out. Monday, May 6th, it's Cancer Awareness Night, presented by Siteman Cancer Center. Purchase of a theme ticket, you'll receive a Cardinals stocking cap, which comes in a variety of cancer awareness colors. For more information, purchase your tickets, cardinals.com/theme. Juan Soto 0 for 2. He's grounded out to first and to second. And a high strike on Soto. It's a third hitter that's turned around to our home plate umpire with the pitch up in the zone.
That was a little bit higher up than we've seen him called so far. I mean, arguably the pitch beforehand was better, and that's pretty hard to cover. That one way up high, likely a couple of inches above the strike zone, and then the one down at the knees. You got to take advantage of it, though.
It's a ball and 2 strikes on Soto. And he waves at it and strikes out. Michael Wacha was strikeout number 5.
Well, Wacha showed him a couple of heaters, then shows him the changeup. This one runs a little bit more than we usually see it. You usually see it dive. That thing moves like crazy. Soto rarely chases outside of the zone also. It doesn't matter if it's 2 strikes or whatever the count is. I think that just tells you how good it looked out of the hand of Michael Wacha.
Howie Kendrick. Wacha is due up second for the Cardinals in the 6th inning. And the 1-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Miller continuing to throw. Right-hander for the Nationals in their pen. And the 1-1. Pitch number 100 coming up. Howie Kendrick broke in with the Angels back in 2006. Finished up last season with Washington.
I think it's important with a team to have a good balance. And I believe that the Nationals have that. You have the young studs in Soto, Robles, Carter Keyboom. We got to have some good veterans too. Kendrick, one of those guys, going to show you how to do some stuff.
And he grounds to DeYoung. We said the Cardinals and Wacha needed a shutdown inning. They get it. We head to the 6th. Chevy called to the pen. 9 games ERA that is over 6, but he's not the only one. Nats bullpen ERA of 6.57 collectively.
It's hard to succeed like that. And they've got great starters. Rough, really, inning for Corbin.
But, take away the first 4 innings. He had walked a couple, pitched around an error, walked 2, and but then the Cardinals got 5 hits and a couple of walks in that inning. They came around to score, and they got to Corbin.
Well, here's where it all started. It started with Harrison Bader getting a slider up in the zone. You see the numbers here, 108.5 mile an hour off the bat. I love seeing Harrison going that way. He's got big time power. He's showing it off to the pull side. I like seeing him show it off that way. That is a tough part of the ballpark to see. And he gets every bit of it.
That was Bader's 3rd home run this year. Dexter Fowler has moved to the on-deck circle. He would pinch hit for Waka, and then you'd have the top of the lineup.
Speaking of home runs, Justin Miller has kind of been bitten by the home run bug so far this year. 7 1/3 innings, already given up 4 homers. Gave up 10 last year in 52 innings. Been making some mistakes, and the hitters have been making him pay for it so far this year.
Signed a minor league deal prior to 2018, then made the club. And now Bader hit by the pitch on a 3-0, and Miller has been nowhere near the strike zone. Well, this would be interesting to see the Cardinals with the 15 steals, with Miller not overly quick to the plate, Gomes behind the plate. Would they want to be aggressive here with Harrison Bader?
Well, you mentioned the numbers earlier. The Cardinals 4th in the league in stolen bases, have 15 of them. And at this point, the Cardinals do have a little pressure. They've been putting the pressure on. I wouldn't mind seeing some movement.
Here's Dexter Fowler. There are 2 guys moving differently here in 2019. We saw Ozuna score from first, and the BJC Healthcare difference maker Dexter Fowler not only moving differently but putting up different numbers.
I mean, that's not the same guy.
No,
it really isn't. He looks very good. He looks very comfortable. And last year, we'll continue to reference it just because, look, it happened, and it was a very bad year. But Dexter looking to put that one behind him, and he's done such a great job of that so far. And it's not only hitting he looks different. He looks different in the field. He looks reinvigorated.
And a strong throw and a play that he made up against the wall. Same game on Saturday. That's 5 straight balls now for Miller. Does Bader want to run? 1 ball and 1 strike on Fowler. That's what John Mozeliak was talking about with me today. He said a lot of it, too, for both guys is a matter of health. And with health comes success and confidence. And you're seeing 2 different players in Ozuna and Fowler.
I think it goes back to the depth. I know that right now, I mean, the Cardinals have 5 outfielders on their roster, and you'd feel very good starting any one of them. But that's a problem you want to have. You want to be able to have to figure out ways to get guys ABs. You want everybody doing as well as they can be. Might seem like an issue, but it's a good issue.
Just the way that he is even taking pitches. He's not off balance. His eye has been tremendous in terms of all the walks here recently.
We've seen a lot of at-bats, too, that started out 0-2. And then he fouls off pitches, ends up drawing walks. And that's what he's been in his career. He's been a high on-base guy, and that's what the Cardinals need. He got a lot of pop.
Bader, a great jump, throw down to second, and not in time, and a stolen base for Harrison Bader. And Bader in there safely with his first steal of 2019.
Well, the jump definitely did it here for Harrison Bader. You see him take off right away. I've seen him a couple of times. Actually, a pretty good attempt here by Gomes. This pitch was way far away from where he wanted it to be. I think he might have clipped Kai Boom right there with the helmet.
And the challenge, it looks like, coming up by the Nats. The only thing I could think of in this play is that he beat the tag but then slid off the bag maybe momentarily where his thigh or leg was not touching the second base bag, and the tag was still on him.
Well, we'll get a look at it here. See, gets
oh boy,
I don't know.
he may have been off the bag for just a split second.
So this is the one to me. I guess he might have right there. It's very tough to tell. This one drives me up a wall, though, when it comes to replay. Because I don't think that this was necessarily the intention when it came to stuff like this. Does a guy barely pop off a bag when he appears to be safe by quite a bit? I just don't think that was the intent when it happened.
But if you would, change it back, then you have, the gray area there would be incredible.
There is no going back ever, and that's why replay in general is just kind of, you're opening a big can of worms once it happens.
Yeah, I thought they may have gotten him even though he beat him. But you can see it. It was almost like a little daylight under his body with the slide, and to Keyboom's credit, he held the tag, maybe out of necessity too.
Well, credit him, and on that credit Gomes as well, because that pitch by Miller was nowhere near where he wanted it. Gomes had to reach way across his body to make a throw. And at least got it out quickly.
And so 3-1 the count now on Fowler. He could put down a bunt right here. And 3-2. I still, though, will go back to, I like the way the Cardinals are playing and pushing it.
Well, right there, they had it. You had the bag. It was he was out, popped off the base, but I'll take that chance all the time. It's all about taking your chances, and just because you get popped once doesn't mean you don't go back to the well.
3-2 with one out and nobody on, and Fowler hits it into the shift, and there's 2 outs. That's the third baseman, Kendrick, with the catch. Give Michael Wacha credit now out of the game, but it was a battle. You could just tell, the control was lacking, but still got through 5.
His first inning, he looked very good. We saw a couple of good breaking balls from Michael Wacha. The second inning was a struggle.
As Carpenter lifts a high fly ball out to left. Catch made. 6-3. Double bobblehead to your That's Yadier Molina, Roberto Clemente, courtesy of Coca-Cola Walmart. Tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Well, the bullpen cart was there for Giovanni Gallegos to take advantage of, and he did not. He elected not to be driven in by the bullpen cart. He's our Chevy called to the pen, and that's disappointing to me.
It's a nice bullpen cart.
Well, it needs to be instituted.
Should it be mandatory, you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you should just have to take, because that's the worry, actually, is somebody's going to give you a little stuff for taking it. But if you had to,
you got to do it. You take advantage of it.
I'd love to.
The bullpen cart needs to be brought back in every major league city. Giovanni Gallegos, and a swing and a miss by Adams. Let's check in with Erica.
Dan, I spoke with John Brevia before the game about the ever-changing roles in the Cardinals bullpen. He said, I define my role as don't let anyone score. I think it's fair to assume that that's most of the guys' outlook in the Cardinals bullpen. He said, as a whole, we have a really good mindset, though, coming into a game, being aggressive, wanting to attack hitters, keeping the lead that the starters helped us get, and our hitters when they hand that off to us in the pen. I asked him what impresses him most about the guys in the bullpen right now, and he said it shows how everyone clicks together. We're all really good friends. We like hanging out, and I think that shows up on the field when we're pitching against other teams.
It's a tight-knit group. You know about that, huh?
I kind of wish that everybody could know what it's like to be a member of the bullpen. It's a family, and it's kind of a messed up family, but it's a family.
It is a weird family.
It's a really weird family. By the way, just seeing Brevia might be a guy that could take the cart, couldn't he?
He would be my pick if somebody did it. He's the guy.
Too. Yeah, that's got cart written all over it.
But Norris, when he was with the Cardinals, did it last year. It's Dominic Leone there on the left. Jamie Pogue, the bullpen catcher, on the right. 2-2 the count. You would have done it.
I don't know.
Yeah, you would have.
All right, I probably would have.
Of course you would have.
I don't get a chance to ride in a sweet ride like that too often, you know.
It's nice. This one here is very nice. They've got it in Arizona, I believe, as well.
Back to being a member of a bullpen, I might think that is under lock and key and security around that thing all the time, or some of the boys might take it for a little ride.
Swing and a miss, a strikeout. 94 on the fastball by Gallegos.
He started him off with a great curveball and then finishes him off with a heater up in the zone. Really good sequence right there by Giovanni Gallegos.
Carter Keyboom.
See what, that fastball up has kind of been called sometimes, not every time.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. That's it out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 1 the count on Keyboom. 1-2. Giovanni was acquired from the Yankees with Chasen Shreve late July, and didn't know much about Giovanni. More so it was about getting another lefty in the pen. There's a ground ball. That was in the Luke Voit deal. Luke Voit, by the way, named today as the American League Player of the Week. Congratulations to the St. Louis native who's found a home with the Yankees. The 11th St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony takes place on May 23rd. Honorees include Tommy Herr, Jerry Royce, my good friend and partner on the Billiken game, Scott Highmark. Tickets are now available. Go to St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame website for more information. Always a fun night, the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. Talked to Scotty the other day about it. He's awfully excited.
Oh, I'm sure. Quite an honor.
And one of our colleagues, Ricky Horton, heads up the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And the FCA will also go into the Hall of Fame that night on May 23rd. And the seats again, St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame.
I've got a friend who recently was put into the St. Louis Sports Hall of Fame. Tells me all about it every time I see him.
And who might that be?
Fred Bird.
Oh.
Yep. Kind of rubs it in my face.
A swing and a miss. You being the co-host of that outstanding children's program on the weekends.
You do watch the Cardinals Kids Show, do you not? 11 a.m. Fox Sports Midwest. I mean, you watch it.
Saturdays, right?
Yeah, you watch it.
Yep. I'm all over it.
Yeah. That's high quality.
Here's a 1-2 pitch taken high.
I could probably pull some strings if you'd like to be on the show as like a guest appearance.
I just enjoy it so much from home. I'd rather just take it in and watch you and your guests.
That's kind of what I figured.
It really does seem like, and is, a great program. I haven't missed an episode.
I don't really believe you, actually.
There's
something about that tone.
You can think what you want.
All right. I'll make sure I forward you all the episodes.
That's hit down the right field line, out of play. U-Man is on that too, right?
He is. Professor
U-Man.
John
you think
Ewert?
I didn't know?
Yes.
And you're on that show.
It's the best.
A shift on the left side and a 3-2 pitch to Dozier. Inside corner. He thought he walked in. Flips his bat in disgust. Gallegos, couple of strikeouts. We head to inning number 7. Budweiser plays of the game and a rally. 6 runs started with that home run. And then with 2 outs, some walks, wild pitch, some hits. It all adds up to your Budweiser plays of the game. And here is Goldschmidt. And the first pitch is strike. Singled and scored in that big 5th inning. It's flied to right and also popped out to second.
It's a great piece of hitting in that inning as well. Went down and got one, shot it right back up the middle. Kept it rolling for the Cardinals. Escalated quickly in that one. That's how funny this game is. You're rolling for a little while, and Corbin has had a great year. All of his starts have been very good. Hadn't given up more than 3 runs in a game. They've been especially good here at home. The Cardinals were able to get to him.
Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers will donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. And the 2-1 pitch. 2-2. Just the presence in the middle of the lineup that you have to deal with Paul Goldschmidt. And if Ozuna's rolling and Fowler's rolling and wait till Carpenter gets going. I mean, this is a team that's showing you that they can win in many ways.
This is fun. It's one of those offenses where I look at them and I try to think about it as an opposing pitcher, and there's little to no breathing room.
Right. The 2-2. And there's a high fly ball into right field. And the catch made by Eaton. Justin Miller out of Ridgefield, California. Played at Fresno State. Was part of the College World Series champs of the Fresno Bulldogs, and then made his major league debut at Detroit in 2014. His pitch with Colorado. And then last year, 51 appearances out of the Nats bullpen. Inside to Paul DeYoung. Couple of walks for Paulie tonight.
Showing off that eye. That's something. There have been a lot of things in Paul DeYoung's game that have elevated, but his eye is one of them. When he first came up, it was that off-speed pitch away that he would flail at. You don't see much of that anymore.
1 ball and 1 strike. Gotta wonder too, with the broken bone that he had on his left hand, coming back from that. It is kind of funny. We say, well, guy's back from injury. We think, well, he's 100%. Should be back to where he was. It takes time. Yes. And these guys will push it many times before they're ready, but deal with soreness or a lack of motion or range. I think that was the case last year with Ozuna in the shoulder. And
for sure it was.
Your left hand is a hitter, your hands period, but your bottom hand is a right-handed hitter. I mean, it's a big thing to deal with.
I think there's a huge difference between can you play and are you healthy. And sometimes you kind of hop over that line because you feel like you have to, and then you try to find a new normal. Oftentimes it takes an off season to totally get right, heal up. There's no time to heal during a major league season.
Were you sore after day 1 of your first bullpen?
Oh, in spring?
Yeah, I mean, and then for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Basically, right?
For the most part.
And a fastball at 90 miles an hour and struck him out. And that's, you know, I think something that to an extent Carlos Martinez is going to have to figure out too, is how far can I take it to where I'm hurting myself or I'm just pitching with a lot of soreness.
Well, and to me, the thing about that is that's why all the hard work in the offseason means so much, is getting yourself prepared for that. I mean, because you know how long a big league season is. I don't care if you're a starter or a reliever. You put in a lot of work, and during the season, you kind of just try to maintain it. It's not your same stuff, same workouts that you do in the offseason. For the most part, everybody's got different routines, but it's all about just keeping your strength up, keeping yourself available and out there. But I do think for some guys, it takes a while to figure out exactly what each individual needs.
Ozuna, a single, drove in 2. And he picks up another base hit to left. 2-out hit, Marcell Ozuna on base for the 3rd time. Also reached on an error.
Well, something that we've grown accustomed to with Marcell Ozuna is loud noises off of his bat. Another one right there. Just seeing the ball so well, so smooth. I mean, this is the guy that the Cardinals traded for. I mean, that's all there is to it. He put up monster numbers in Miami a couple of years ago, and he was hurt last year. And he battled, and he still got hits, and he still, you know, hit for a decent average, but he didn't do damage. We're seeing damage this year from him.
Here's Jose Martinez. Couple of hits tonight, and he looks at strike 1. Typically, too, I mean, players now in the offseason, season ends, you hope in late October, and it's a week or two maybe off, and they start training.
Get right back into it, and that's how guys want it. It's hard to sit around and do nothing. I mean, it really is. 2 weeks actually feels like an eternity.
I bet. Popped up, Matt Adams, and the catch. Jefferson Memorial construction began in 1939, finished in 43, and still going strong in 2019. Colton Wong with the Cardinals enjoying now a 3-run lead. So Jerko out of the ball game. Giovanni Gallegos, 2nd inning of work, and Yan Gomes at the plate.
That curveball has looked very impressive from Gallegos, just bottom dropping out of it.
There it is again, 0-2.
See, this just late break right here, starts it on the outer half. Good downward movement, but also a little right to left.
And Gomes into right center, diving play, Harrison Bader. What a catch in right center. A line drive, and Bader comes up with a beauty in right center field.
That's a bad man right there. This thing just hangs up in the air. Harrison full extension coming in on it. That's a difficult play. And he makes it look easy.
What a great play that was.
Hitting homers, saving hits.
Big night with the home run that he hit. That got the rally, you know, I think, even though after that there was an out, and then
it broke the mold is what it did.
The 5 runs, but his home run got the Cardinals on the board, and now that catch and the 1-0. And this is Defoe at the plate, the pinch hitter.
Just talk about that one right there. It was an 0-2 count. Gallegos left one up where Gomes could handle it. And if that hit falls in, maybe it just changes how this inning looks. All of a sudden, you get the first guy out, you get to go right back to work.
1-2 the count. That breaking pitch has been sharp here.
Really good.
This appearance for Giovanni Gallegos. More than likely a limited bench tonight for Dave Martinez as Defoe pops it up. Molina throws the mask and makes the catch. So Gallegos has seen 5 and gotten 5 outs. The mystery performance t-shirt coming up on May 11th. Presented by Maryville University. There are 4 designs, and you'll find out which one you get when you get through the gates of Busch Stadium. You know, we don't know about Rendon, and Rendon, they decided to play him in a game, and in retrospect, it's 9 games, I believe, now since he's been out, and he's played in 1.
Played on the 26th.
Yeah.
Really, when you have a 10-day IL, in retrospect, I'm sure they wish they had that one back.
So essentially you're playing with a 24-man roster, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Adam Eaton.
It's his left elbow that's the issue. Was hit by a pitch.
Rendon, by the way, a free agent to be.
That was all the talk when Bryce Harper went elsewhere. Was what are they going to do with him? I mean, I think that Rendon is one of the most underrated players around. You go back and you look at his numbers over the years, but he's been overshadowed here. Bryce Harper gets got a lot of the attention, rightfully so. The pitching staff here has got a lot of attention, but Rendon has been one of those guys that's just been a steady performer. He's set to make a lot of money.
And a fly ball. Ozuna over near the line and makes the catch in foul territory. 2 scoreless innings for Giovanni Gallegos, and a little help from Harrison Bader. What a Wander Suero of the Dominican Republic. Chevy called to the pen. He signed Suero as a non-drafted free agent all the way back in 2010. He spent 3 years in their player development system in the Dominican. There's a ground ball that's taken by Kieboom, and Yadi is retired. If you've just joined us, Molina did extend his hitting streak to 16 and also picked up an RBI along the way. Yadi, don't overlook the fact that here we are in the first month and he is driven in 20.
Got a lot of guys feeling it offensively right now. It's contagious. Yadi has put together some big-time ABs here recently. Runners in scoring position. I love having him up as much as anybody.
There's Colton Wong, first plate appearance of the night. Patrick Corbett on the mound. The Cardinals sat Fowler and Colton Wong and went with right-handed batters. And now Colton, his first appearance. Took over for Jed Jerko. John Brebbia getting loose in the Cardinal pen. This might be one of those nights too where even though Hicks faced 1 batter yesterday, he also pitched on Saturday. Andrew Miller also 2 days in a row. Could be a night where you ask John Brebbia to give you 6 outs.
I think that having Giovanni Gallegos throw 2 innings kind of told you a little bit of that, right?
Yeah.
Trying to extend him a little bit, see if you can get the night off for a couple of guys down there. And that's part of it too. And especially I look at a guy like Hicks.
There's a fly ball into center. 2 away.
And it's just the being honest about the situations. You know,
the conversations happen every day. So it'll be Mike Maddox or it'll be Mike Schilt walking around saying, hey, how you feeling today? Or are you good? And sometimes the conversation is, yeah, I'm good, or I can give you one. And oftentimes, too, you know, Mike Schilt might say, you know what, I don't care how you feel today, you got the day off. You know, there has to be a lot of honesty that goes into those conversations, though.
I think sometimes, though, you got to take it away from them. Yeah, just make the decision.
I will tell you this firsthand. Some guys will lie right to your face.
Sure.
I did plenty of that. Hey, how you feeling? Oh, I'm good, Skip. Then I'm going to go into the weight room and try to straighten out my arm for a few minutes.
Exactly.
And see if I can get a few more for you.
It happens all the time.
It does. Now, and so it's easy to say to have the honest dialogue, but managers
Bader,
also know their guys.
Beautiful bunt and on base for the third time. He's hit a home run. He's made a diving catch. He's been hit by a pitch and now a bunt single with his speed. And you can do that even though he is the 8th place hitter, understanding that you've got Tyler O'Neill on deck and not the pitcher.
Well, everything about that is textbook. He gets the bat out in front. He catches Kendrick back on his heels. Golly. Just smart baseball. It is. You see an opportunity and you take it. And now you got somebody on in front of this guy.
For the Cardinals, that's their 6th bunt base hit and the first of the year for Bader. Quick tag, but he's back in safely. Just talking, ironically enough, about bunt base hits with Tyler O'Neill not that long ago, and in particular Bader. And you start thinking about, if you just pick up one a week, what that does to your average. Not for O'Neill, but for Bader. And he tried to bunt a little bit more during spring training.
I honestly, I never understood it. If you have speed as a weapon, why you wouldn't take advantage of something like that and spend countless hours on that part of your game and getting the bunts down and knowing how to deaden it, knowing how to push it, knowing how to pull it with you. Like you said, one knock a week. I thought you were going to give me the whole Bull Durham. One dying quail, one duck fart.
It does make you think of that, right?
It does. But it's true. It is. I mean, that's how silly this game is that one extra knock that falls in, or the one you create because an opportunity is given to you, and now opportunities are there more than there ever have been with the shift going on.
And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Bull Durham was the movie du jour, if you will, yesterday, walking into the video room of the Cardinals. Some guys watching video of their at-bats or the opposing pitcher, and others glued to the set for the 100th time watching Bull Durham.
You got to see if Crash Davis hits that dubious home run to set the minor league record. Spoiler alert, he did.
I would think, too, as Bader advances in his career, you're talking about a top of the lineup type hitter, too. You know, so bunting becomes, you know, using his speed, and bunting becomes part of the game.
Well, especially as, and we've already seen him make big time strides of fouling stuff off, getting to his pitch.
The strikeout of O'Neill. Brebbia coming on when we come back. T-Mobile connection to Christian Yelich had to leave the ball game with the Mets early with lower back discomfort. Keep an eye on that. Detroit, 7th team all-time to strike out 20 times in a 9-inning game as they're trying to rebuild. And Albert keeps moving up some of the all-time list. And yesterday he passed Barry Bonds' RBI list. I believe he's number 3. Incredible. He's 3 away, by the way, from 2000.
He was so much fun to watch.
Man.
Still fun to watch.
John Brebbia, Chevy called to the pen. O'Neill stays in the game. He'll take over in right field. Jose Martinez out, so Brebbia going into the 5 spot in the Cardinal lineup. Erica had a nice visit with John on our pregame show. Our Hyundai pitch arsenal with the Cardinal right-hander.
Well, very good fastball, plus fastball, wipeout slider. Every once in a while mix in that changeup. Brebbia's proven to be one of those go-to guys at the back end of the pen. And fortunately for the Cardinals, man, they got a couple of those guys, don't they?
I mean, this guy is a weapon.
I love it. I just love the story, too. I mean, I guess that's the thing. If you are talented enough, someone will find you. And the Cardinals did a great job acquiring him.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. The fastball. Taking eye 2-2. Victor Robles inside. And a swing and a miss. And with an off-speed pitch on 3-2 and with a 3-run lead.
Tell you what, textbook pitching right here. Brebbia busted him in off the plate the pitch beforehand and then throws that nasty slider just off the plate away. Looks like a fastball coming out of his hand. And Robles just could not get a hold of that one. That's a great pitch.
It's now 8 strikeouts in the Nats lineup. To me, that's even when you were playing, the game has changed. You have a 3-run lead in the 8th on the road, and that's a young man at the plate in Robles, and it's 3-2, and you give him a slider. I mean, that's
well, it's also
stuff.
a young man that can crush a fastball too. And,
agreed.
But you also have faith in a guy like Brebbia who can locate that pitch. I mean,
exactly.
To me, that's one of the biggest differences. And we've seen tonight, we've seen all year, how quick a game can change. You know, so if you challenge that guy with a fastball down the middle, all of a sudden he's on base. And then the wheels are turning.
A ball and a strike on Soto. Boy, that's nasty right there by Brebbia.
Look at this defensive swing, just ties him up.
And a fastball at 93. There's some places I think you might get a foul ball in the booth. And this is one I don't think we'll ever see.
I got a better chance of getting a nosebleed than I do a foul ball.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. There was a ball hit earlier. No lie. I thought it was gone. Gone. The second baseman caught it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a weird vantage
Well, that's
point.
if you're on radio, you could say that's a deep drive to left field, and the wind is just
bringing
playing,
it back,
yeah,
swirling.
Man. The wind is just terrible here, and it's caught by the shortstop.
Yeah, luckily I just shut my mouth and then figured it out after that.
2-2 the count.
Yeah, we're up here. I don't know. There I am. This is us. You see the top of the building? So it's a high vantage point is what we're trying to tell you here. We are way up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Milwaukee, I felt like I almost had to bring a glove back here.
Oh, yeah. You'll get a lot of foul balls there. Still have not gotten one in the booth at Busch Stadium, but I love where we're seated there. Just the overhang takes over.
Yeah.
And you don't get those foul balls. 2-2 the count. Fouled back again by Soto. So for Brebbia, that's about a month's worth of growth on the beard, which will be nice and long by the end of October.
It's pretty impressive.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good month.
Do you shave?
I'm going on 37 years.
Is that right?
I get a little bit on the mustache.
Nice.
That's about it. Yeah. And not a ton, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Believe it or not.
Found that very surprising.
I know. I know.
The 2-2.
It is actually really funny when you look at John Brebbia, any of the headshots. I mean, pictures are taken in spring training. He shows up clean shaven. By the end of the year, you got to give it a double take, make sure you're reading the right guy's stuff.
First time I saw him without the beard, I had no idea who he was.
Introduce yourself.
How you doing? Welcome to the Cardinals. And I'm dead serious. He said, it's John. I go,
Yeah,
Brevia?
John?
Oh, well, good to see you again.
You've been working out. You look different.
You look great.
Yeah, greatest shape of your life, I'd say.
Well, I know Al is on the post game, and I'm sure he's still very thankful for the time I saved him in Milwaukee. That foul ball.
I mean, honestly, he talks to me about that one.
Yeah.
Still.
He said, yeah, Dan's going to take care of you, but on those foul balls, he took care of me big time. It's a lifesaver. Inside, and a good at bat there by Soto, drawing the 1-out walk. That was a battle there. Cardinal Baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And find your Steel dealer at steeldealers.com. But the last time I checked being up here, I wasn't charged a ticket to come in here, so I'm not complaining. I'm very thankful.
Oh, yeah. This is still a great view. It's just a different one.
It
is what it is. You weren't charged, by the way?
No, I told them I got here early as you were late.
Uh-huh.
And I told them, you see Thompson, get your $50.
Yeah, I got to figure this place out. I'm getting taken advantage of.
He doesn't know the difference. Tough play and a souvenir.
Kind of thought that rookie hazing stuff was over with.
No, I just figured it'd teach you a lesson.
I also had to pay double at dinner.
Well, that happens too.
Did you talk to them as well? They said something about it was a tax thing. I don't know. I hope these are all write-offs.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Kendrick. Just off the plate. Well, if you're Mike Schilt, clearly you're hoping for an efficient, quick eighth to maybe be able to run Brebbia back out there, and that's now 19 pitches.
Yeah, it could still happen with one pitch, though. Get a ground ball. Kendrick works up the middle quite a bit. Has grounded out twice already in the game today.
And the 2-1 pitch. That's the pitch there you can get him to roll over on. Crowd of just over 17,000 here tonight. 2-2 the count. That's tickets sold. And the next by Brebbia. The fly ball out to O'Neill. Initially came in just a bit, backs up, makes the catch. And that's out number 2. Mike Schilt was talking about that before the game, where the Cardinals are playing so well right now at home, which was clearly a point of emphasis to play better at Busch Stadium. And he remarked on the crowds that we've been having, and we've had already 3 sellouts. Cardinals are playing as well as they have in a long time at Busch Stadium.
Yeah, there's an energy around this ball club, and it's not just the team, but like you mentioned, the buzz in the stands. It's fun to have wherever you go, having people talking about Cardinal baseball, and certainly Blues hockey right now in the playoffs, but it's what it's all about. Like, you want to create that atmosphere, that vibe, and the Cardinals have definitely gotten it. And you know this, when you buy a ticket and you show up at the ballpark, or if you're watching, you're going to get a great effort. You're going to get a good performance.
Here's a 1-0 pitch now to Matt Adams, who singled tonight. Just off the plate again, 2-0. Cardinals have invested so much in player development and the minor leagues. And you look across baseball, how many players they develop, and whether it be on their own roster or others like a Matt Adams. I mean, there's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of players that have come out of that system recently. And who would have thought a guy out of Slippery Rock would be, you know, a factor as a first baseman, former catcher, but they had a system in place to kind of study competition, weather, the velocity off the bat before you started hearing those things. And they said, let's take a chance on Matt Adams. Well, it worked.
It did work. The cool thing about that is it just provides another opportunity for another young man, and in a place just like Slippery Rock, you know. Once again, if you're talented, somehow, some way, they'll find you.
3-1 the count. That was a 3-0 slider there by Brebbia, and this would be pitch number 26. And the next to Matt Adams. Just off the plate again. Not what he wanted to do, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate. Adams on base again. So 2 walks in the inning by Brebbia. And Mike Maddox out to visit. Phillips 66 ticket vouchers are back, and they are better than ever. Fill up at Phillips 66, 8 gallons or more, and you can get a voucher for up to 50% off on up to 8 tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit cardinals.com/Phillips66. Connor Keyboom, couple of home runs that he's hit, filling in for Trey Turner. Well, at times tonight, that's been a strike.
It's been a very interesting zone. At least overall, I think it's been fairly consistent everywhere else, but that one has kind of been a bit of a coin flip.
So 2 outs and 2 on, tying run at the plate, and the 1-0 pitch by Brebbia. Nobody up in the Cardinals pen. Interesting to see that.
Just as you say that, I think the phone is ringing. They're getting moving a little bit here. But I do think that just kind of tells you how much faith they do have in their guy, John Brebbia. He's gotten the job done.
And now the 2-0. That's a strike. He's had 15 balls and 14 strikes tonight.
Yeah, I think that we're seeing him a little bit. We've seen a couple of great sliders, a couple of well-placed fastballs, but we've also seen a few where he's gotten a little rotational, a little side to side, get under the ball as opposed to on top of it, fingers behind it.
And the 2-1 pitch to Keyboom. 2-2. Catches the bottom of the zone.
A very well placed fastball right there, bottom of the zone. David Martinez not happy about it, says it's down. I don't know about you, I tend to disagree. I thought it was perfect.
Right down the middle.
That's right. Yeah.
So 2-2. The big pitch in the ball game right here. Tying run at the plate, and the next by Brebbia. Off the plate, and the runner's off with the next pitch. I would think now with 30+ pitches, you could not advance him beyond this 8th inning. We'll see. Dozier on deck. And the 3-2. Check swing. Did not go. Another walk issued by Brebbia. This is a dangerous man now coming up at the plate with all kinds of power. 4 home runs hit already this season. For Dozier, we mentioned a few years ago, he popped 42.
Well, the average probably isn't exactly where Brian Dozier wants it, but the power has always been there, and it's that one swing away. Obviously, in this game, that one swing can change things in a heartbeat.
So Webb up and throwing in the Cardinal pen. Dozier with the bases loaded, 6-3 St. Louis. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. And a slider in there for a strike. Dozier singled to center and scored back in the 2nd inning. Walked in the 4th and struck out in the 6th. This might be your ball game right here. And then all important strike 1. And it's popped out. Goldschmidt calls off Brebbia and makes the catch. Took a while, but a scoreless frame for John Brebbia. Copyrighted telecast is by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals. Lincoln Memorial opened up in 1922. That statue, by the way, you told me you're going to go see it tomorrow. That's 19 feet tall. You'll notice how big it is. And that memorial has been on the back of a $5 bill since 1929. And there's inscriptions, by the way, of the Gettysburg Address and the 2nd inaugural address inside the memorial. I think you're going to enjoy it tomorrow. I love seeing the history around Washington, D.C. It's amazing. There's Carpenter. And the first pitch is strike.
Are you fishing for an invite? Would you like to come with me?
No, you told me.
I would love to have you come with me.
Give you a history lesson.
I play here a couple of times, and I have never gone out and seen the sights.
My favorite is the World War II Memorial. I'm serious about that. Every time I'm there, there is usually an honor flight or someone with a family member bringing them there. And in all sincerity and honesty, I mean, it may be the last time that they'll ever have the chance to do it. A generation getting older, and strike out a Carpenter. I was there a few years ago, right after it opened up, and there was a gentleman there from Arkansas who knew who I was and introduced himself. Cardinal fan, was here for the series, and then I met his granddaughter, and the granddaughter said that he basically was so overcome with emotion. It was the first time he had not been crying all day, just to be there and see that, the memories, and
it's a lot.
It's really moving. It really was. It makes you want to say always thank you to the men and women of our armed forces. That long inning, Jordan Hicks now throwing in the Cardinal pen. Now it's really a fine line. I mean, you did this for a living. Now Hicks, and I can understand a fan says, well, he saw one batter yesterday, what's the big deal? But that is a precious arm out there, and it's not just coming in the game, it's getting hot, getting loose, getting ready, and letting some go out there, then coming into the game.
Well, and that's something that organizations do keep very good track of also. It's not just games that you get in, it's how many times you get somebody up. They track every pitch out there while they're throwing. And I really do believe that eyeball test is going to be important, you know, with a guy like Hicks. If it's 2 days in a row, or maybe you run him out there for 3, you got to trust in what you're seeing out of him, and you got to have a contingency plan. But tell you what, Hicks has got an electric young arm, very loose arm. But I do think that we forget, especially with all the games that he was in last year. I mean, led the club in appearances, that he's just learning how to be in the bullpen still.
Yeah.
I mean, that was his first run at it last year, from A ball to the big leagues.
That's a line foul. That's 19 pitches the last 2 days, by the way, for Jordan Hicks. But there is an art to, and you talk to bullpen guys all the time about getting loose and understanding then the situation of when you amp it up to get hot.
Well, look at him right now. He's actually taking his time. He was standing there watching, observing. You figure that out quickly.
And Goldschmidt hustling down the line, and good play by Kendrick for out number 2. Brings in Paul DeYoung with 2 outs and nobody on. Oh for 2, but a couple of walks. That was a career high 3 walks issued by Brebbia. Because of that, pitch count got up, and Cardinals will turn to Jordan Hicks. And DeYoung shoots it in the right center field gap, and that's off the top of the wall, and it's another double. He has been a doubles machine this year. Paul DeYoung with another one. It's his 19th extra base hit.
Just showing off the power here too, going the other way with it. Just catches one that catches a ton of the plate. This one ends up just middle up, and he drives it that way. I think a couple of years ago he might have tried to pull off of that pitch. Just a couple of feet away from getting out of here.
And Ozuna lines it to third. An absolute rocket to Howie Kendrick. Man, oh man. Howie can't feel his left hand, but he got the out. Bottom of the ninth coming up. Penn, 13th appearance, 3rd day in a row for Jordan Hicks. And trying to pick up save number 9. Kurt Suzuki will be on deck. And to start the inning, Yan Gomes.
Well, you know, the thought oftentimes with guys with sinkers is a lot of times the more they work, the more movement they actually get. We'll see. That could be very interesting if he gets more movement at 100 miles an hour.
It's incredible.
That's
100 with sink. I asked Jim Edmonds, I said, how do you try to hit a guy that's throwing like this? Or in his case, it was Randy Johnson, you know, upper 90s. And the 0-1 pitch. And he said, you've got to try to pick the ball up out of the hand first. And he said, with a guy like this kind of sink, then you're basically guessing. You know, so
where it might end up.
Where it might end up, and that's where your swing goes.
I guess it makes sense that only 2 balls against him all year last year were barreled.
Here's a 1-1 pitch by Hicks.
Yeah, 102.
102 on the gun, and he's mixed in a much better slider this year.
It is a lot better.
And also a changeup. I asked him the other day, Jordan, I said, you know, when you throw that changeup, do you feel like you might be speeding up bats? And his answer was, he said, sometimes I think about it, but I've got to keep them off as something other than the fastball. You know, if they gear up and start letting it rip, it just puts another element in the back of the mind of the hitter.
I think it's huge, and it does. It keeps them off stuff, and it's about locating it. It's locating it down under the zone. You're not trying to throw it for a strike down the middle. Jordan Hicks, by the way, needs to take a little off right now. Get back. He's rushing a little bit, trying to throw it through a wall. His first sinker was great. He was balanced. And get right back to that. Get a ground ball on a 3-1 count.
3-2.
Scotty calming him down. Say, stay back. You're good. Keep all your momentum to me. That's one of the things, first things when I'm teaching any kid how to throw. I don't care how old. I ask him, how much do you weigh? And he'll say whatever it is, 50 pounds, 70 pounds. Say, how much of that do you want going towards your target? All of it.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. He went with the slider on 3 and 2.
I don't think he was looking for that.
No, sir.
You see 100, 102, 101, and then you get the nasty slider that he does do a good job of staying on top of here.
It's ridiculous.
It is.
There's Kurt Suzuki.
That's probably really fun. You know, sitting around watching the game all evening and hey, you got Hicks.
And by the way, it's a little chilly here too. So good luck.
And then he's going to start you off with an 86-mile-an-hour bender. But watch out for 102 on the fists.
Also notice with Hicks too, when you talk to him, he's got that nasty little edge to him. There's a slider that backs up, but taken for a ball. He's quite confident in his abilities, and he should be.
Yeah, I think I would be too if I had that.
And the next two, Kurt Suzuki, the 1-1. 102.
102. Not a four-seamer.
We got microphones all over the place, and apparently a third member of our broadcast team.
That didn't sound like Erica Weston.
Sure didn't. The 2-1 is a grounder foul. This last pitch was at 103. Look at the movement.
Well, ho hum, here it is. Stays right on top of it and then just kind of dives off the table. I got to go back to school, learn about physics. I didn't think stuff like that was possible.
He's opened up eyes across the game.
You go 103, then you throw this slider right off of it.
And a fly ball out to left. There's Marcelo Ozuna. And that's out number 2. In 1993, Lee Smith had 10 saves in April. The Hall of Famer. Hicks looking for number 9. 10 the most in the month of April. Lee Arthur headed to Cooperstown, and well deserved. And the 0-1 pitch to Eaton. Ground ball to short. This should do it. DeYoung. They make the play for the third and final out of the ball game, and the Cardinals come back to win it by the final of 6-3. Again, another full, complete team effort.
No doubt. The Cardinals got some big hits, had a big inning. The pitching staff did a great job. Michael Wacha, after a rough second inning, battled, and the Cardinals get the W in the first one.
6-3, the final. They win game 1 of the road trip. Post-game show coming up.